My dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, we are in the season of Lent, and today on the fifth Sunday of Lent, we are called upon to experience the mercy and compassion of God. In the Gospel, we hear of the story of the woman caught in adultery. It's the story of sin committed and sin forgiven. It shows the inexhaustible mercy and compassion Jesus gives to repentant sinners. In addition, by making sinlessness the condition for throwing the first stone, Jesus forces the accusers to assess their own souls and to leave. Thus, he grants justice to the accusers and mercy to the sinful woman. This story is so dramatic because those men asked Jesus to judge the sinful woman in order to test him and impel him to take a false step. In accordance with the prescriptions of the book of Leviticus, the woman caught in adultery was to be condemned by stoning. If Jesus absolves the woman, it will be said that he has transgressed the precepts of Moses. If he condemns her, it will be said that he is inconsistent with his message of mercy towards sinners. Jesus was silent for a while to invite the accusers to self-reflection and then reacts with his famous saying, "He who is without sin among you, let him throw the first stone," and thus made them fall in their own trap. In his Sermon on the Mount, Jesus formulates it even more clearly. "Judge not, lest you be judged. Why do you see the speck in your brother's eye, but do not see the log in your own eye?" God alone is entitled to judge someone and no one else. For God alone has the insight and overview it takes to make a truly just judgment. In doing so, Jesus does not invalidate a single commandment or law. On the contrary, he actually fulfills it, and he points out to everyone the great danger of setting oneself up as a judge over others. In fact, we do this all the time. Let's say, for example, we are traveling and come across different types of people. We make judgments about people almost automatically. Some make a sympathetic impression on us, the others seem unsympathetic, although we did not even know them remotely. The same applies to all sorts of information that we receive every day. We make a judgment every time. We like one thing, we don't like the other. We are for it or we vote against it. We hear something and form an opinion. All of this happens more or less automatically. We don't usually throw stones, but we do throw words, at least in our head, in our thoughts. Most times we can't help it at all. And that's why St. Francis de Sales also points out that we should be very careful when using our tongue, especially when we talk about others, criticize or blame others. St. Francis de Sales gives the following advice: "My tongue, while I speak of my neighbor, is like the knife in the surgeon's hand, cutting between nerves and tendons. The cut I intend to make must be done so meticulously that I say no more and no less than is really necessary. Besides, in blaming a fault, I must spare as much as possible the person who committed it." Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, in order to avoid the danger of being a judge over others, I should always be very careful with my words and above all, as much as possible, protect the people I'm talking about. My tongue is like a knife. A little slip can cause a lot of mischief. I do believe that observing how I use my words especially my words about others, can be very healing exercise for Lent. And I could try it with a little love, like Jesus, who did not condemn even those who crucified him, and assured the criminal next to him, "Today you will be with me in paradise." That is why St. Francis de Sales writes, "Love is the most effective remedy for every evil." May God bless us and our efforts to make this Lent a meaningful one. Amen.